Good day everyone. In this video, we'll be giving a tutorial for D5 Render app focused on interior. I am Janel Olegario and together with me are my group mates Piepper Guirela, Kenrick Obias, and Marion Salak. Now let's move on to our introduction and overview. First and foremost, what is D5 Render? D5 Render is a real-time GPU ray tracing software for fast, high-quality architectural visualization. It syncs seamlessly with tools like ArchiCAD, SketchUp, and Revit, enabling smooth design to render workflows. Its AI features help speed up tasks like atmosphere generation and managing large asset libraries like making photorealistic images, animations, and immersive media easier to produce. Its primary uses are for architectural visualization, design iteration, immersive media, and specialized visualization. DeFi Render has been emerging as a rendering app, and there's a reason why users choose this software. It offers speed, better workflow through live sync, and also efficiency with up to 14,000 asset library. In comparison to other rendering apps, DeFi offers a real-time feedback. It is easy to use, has built-in assets, environmental control, and it's tailored for architecture workflow, and is also affordable with free community and education versions, making it accessible to a lot of people. So these are the minimum system requirements for DeFi render. While these are the recommended system requirements if you want a better or best performance in using DeFi render. This is a structured process we followed to create the final rendered image. It is a standard workflow for architectural visualization using real-time rendering software like D5 Render. The process moves through seven key sequential steps: model import, material setup, lighting setup, camera setup, rendering settings, exporting, and post-processing. This sequential method ensures efficiency and quality at every stage. And to better understand this workflow, my groupmate Marion will be doing a live demonstration of the basics of using DeFi Render.
Hi, I'm Mars, and to better understand the workflow, let's now move on to our live demo. So the very first step is project setup and model import. So before importing your model to D5, make sure that your model is already clean and ready for rendering. You can also turn off some layers if they're not that needed. Also make sure that you have installed D5 Sync for SketchUp, which is this one. And once you're ready, just click on Connect to D5, this button, and then click on New Project or Sync to Local Project. And then your project will open in D5. However, in my case, I have already opened this project in D5, so it just automatically connects to it. So we have here now our model. You can also see here the interface. We have our main viewport, navigation bar, scene control, lists, and sidebar. Now that my model is already imported, the next step would be material and texture application. So we have this scene which shows the living area. D5 has lots of materials and assets, so you can go through and explore. You just use the shortcut M to access them. You do have first to download the material before you can use them. Now you just have to press on the material, and then press on your model to change. You can also change the base color just by simply dragging it. You can also change this. You can also make the material emissive if needed. Also, you can stretch, offset, and rotate the material as well. You can also check on the UV randomizer. Next is lighting setup. I'll first show you how to control the natural lighting. So in this sidebar, you can easily adjust here the sun position and the time of the day. Just drag your mouse to whatever time you want. You can also type it in here, and also you can change the north offset. So this will be tackled later in depth in a while. Next is the artificial light. Putting on artificial light is pretty easy. All you have to do is press on this button in the navigation bar and choose which light you'd like to use. In this case, I'll be using the point light. So just simply put it where you'd like it to be. In my case, I'll just put it here. Then here, under the inspector panel, you can adjust the lighting. So you can see here the light attribute. You can also see here the location of the light, the attenuation radius, the light source radius, and also the temperature. I'll give an example on how to change the temperature. Just simply type on. I'll just put on 35, which makes the light warmer. And also you can just drag your mouse here, also here, and also change the intensity through that. Once you're done putting all your lights, this is where lists come into great help. So once you have grouped your lights and renamed it if you want, you can easily change the lighting settings of the group easily. So for example, I have here the living strip lights. You can see here the light attributes. I can change the intensity at once. There's three different lights. I can also change the temperature easily of the group. Now that I'm done with setting up the materials and lights, the next step is to adjust the camera and composition. You can find this button here, which also shows what scene you're in. Here, by pressing this, you can adjust the angle, the focal length, and also the camera clipping plane. You also have here the different views, perspective, parallel, 2-point perspective, and you also have these options. So once you're happy with how your scene looks like, make sure to save your scene by pressing this button here in Scene List. So it's very important that you save your scenes that you're satisfied with so you can easily go back to them later without losing any progress. When you're already done creating your scenes, it's now time to render. Just simply click on this button. This one is for image and this one is for video. Once you've clicked that, you're already in render mode. So this is the render interface. You have here the mode, FOV, focal length, aspect ratio, preset size, custom size, and option and render. So you can I'll be choosing here just 2K. And then as for the channels, it's up to you if you're gonna check them all. This is important if you do post-processing, especially if you use Photoshop. But as for me, I will only be checking the AI post channel. And then, if it's only one image, you choose this button. However, if you're going to render a lot of image, use this to add the render queue. Just press on that and choose where you'd like to have this located. And save and wait for it to
We're done with the
finish
live
rendering.
demo. I'll be giving a few workflow tips and practices to better enhance your workflow and maximize quality and efficiency when using D5 Render. So before opening the D5 Render app, make sure that your model is already prepared through cleaning it first and applying the correct material mapping. Next is to use D5 Live Sync. This is the most efficient way to import your model, especially when you have changes to make. Um, Always use Live Sync as this allows immediate updates to the changes you have made. Next is the workflow. Use D5 built-in PBR or physically based rendering materials. There are a lot of available materials in D5, so feel free to use and explore them. Also use the navigation bar that you can find in the top bar to efficiently access key tools and settings. Next is to use lists to group assets. As seen in the live demo, organizing assets like furniture, plants, or light fixture into logical lists makes it easier to manage and manipulate. Lastly, maximize the use of advanced features under the widgets section. Explore tools like weather, environment settings, and camera controls found in the widgets panel for detailed scene creation. Moving on to rendering settings, export separate passes, AO, reflection, and the like for flexible post-processing, especially if you use apps like Photoshop, and then enable auto-exposure only when needed. Lastly is the post-processing, which is the final step taken after the image is exported. Before rendering, make sure that you have turned on AI post channel or post-processing within D5 Render. This enables D5 built-in AI enhancer to the noise and color correct tools to run on the image before export. Also, you can explore the built-in AI rendering options within D5 Render, which will be discussed later.
Hi, I'm Piepper and in this portion, I'll be tackling on DeFi vendor settings, deep dive tips and tricks such as the critical adjustments to assets, lighting, and materials. First, we have the lighting settings. This outlines four main methods for setting up lighting in a DeFi render. We have the geosky, HDRI, manual exposure, and artificial lights. In addition to that, we have the effects. So as you can see, you can control GeoSky through the sidebar. So GeoSky is a method used to simulate natural real-world lighting. This allows precise control over the sun's position by using the parameters like date, time, and location. This simulates natural light condition accurately. In the same location in the interface, you can find the HDRI. So HDRI is used as an alternative to GeoSky. An HDRI map provides a specific environmental look like cloudy day, sunset, sunrise, by wrapping up a high detail image around the scene. Next is the manual exposure or the custom. This setting gives the user a direct control of the render, disabling auto exposure and manually setting the exposure level. This prevents distracting brightness shift when the camera moves and provides precise control over the highlights and shadow in the scene. We also have here the effects beside the environment. You can edit the look of your render here. You can control here the LUT and its intensity, auto exposure, tint, bloom, lens flare, rainbow flare, vignette, chromatic aberration, and saturation. Lastly are the artificial lights. We have here different options. As seen in the live demo, you just have to click it, and under the inspector that you can find in the sidebar, you can control the intensity, temperature, and etc. So this is the lighting comparison of applying the technical adjustments made to transform the interior scene from a brightly lit, lower contrast state in the left image into a dramatic, high-contrast nighttime setting in the right image. Let's move on to the material setting. To access the inspector other than finding it in the sidebar is using the shortcut letter I. You can click it on and click on the material. The base color controls the fundamental color of the material and can be set using the color palette or a texture map. The normal map adds surface detail and bumps, making a material look like it has depth without changing its geometry. Roughness determines how rough or smooth the surface is. Lower values create a more polished, reflective look, while higher values create a matte finish. Metallic is a slider to define how metallic the material is, where black is non-metallic and white is fully metallic. So specular control how much light is reflected from the surface. Ambient occlusion or AO enhances contact shadows in crevices and corners. Emissive makes the material glow by defining its own light with intensity and color, including color temperature settings. As for material templates, D5 provides templates for materials like glass, water, and cloth, which include specific parameters like diffraction, normal, and opacity maps for optimized results. This is the side-by-side comparison of the two renders, reveals that it has two primary differences. It lies on the surface textures of the major elements of the wall and the sofa fabric. The left render, using um, rice white wall paint, shows smoother finishes, while the right render, using white plaster cracked concrete, features a rougher wall texture and a more pronounced fabric weave, indicating a stronger normal roughness setting. Meanwhile, the reflective elements like the pendant light and glass table remain consistent. As for rendering quality settings, this table summarizes the three D5 render quality presets: draft, medium, and high quality. Draft prioritizes speed for quick checks. Medium offers a strong balance of quality and render time for presentations. High quality delivers the best resolution and detail for final publication-ready outputs with longer render times. Next are the optimization tips when using D5 Render. First, reduce polygon count for faster rendering and smoother navigation. Second is use instances for repeated objects to save memory. Um, Turn off extra effects in draft mode to speed up previews. Only with specific regions when testing, And lastly, close other applications to free system resources.
Good day, everyone. I am Kenrick, and I'll be discussing the post-processing within D5 Render. The benefit of using D5 Render is that it already has an AI post-processing within the application. In this section, I'll be tackling how to use it efficiently. First and foremost, we have here the workflow. Make sure that before rendering an image, check or turn on the AI post-processing button, and then render, and then click on the post-processing button. So let's continue working on the scene that we had earlier. Just click on AI post processing. Next, choose the scene that you want to edit. In this case, I'll be choosing scene 1. So here is the interface. You can see the AI enhancer, AI style transfer, M painting, and effects. With the AI style transfer, you have here different styles to choose from. May it be stylized or realistic. All you have to do is choose from the different selections, click wait, and download. Next is the AI enhancer, where you can enhance a specific content through clicking them, and then you can now adjust the enhancement weight and texture strength. Next, we have here the post-production under effects. Like the AI enhancer, you can select a specific content. You can also use the reverse button if you want, and then we can now adjust the sharpness, noise, and transparency. And lastly, we have the motion blur, which is also under effects. You can also select a specific content. In this case, let's click on the person, and then we can now adjust the angle and weight of the blur and click save. This right here are the examples of the post-processed images that we did earlier. And these are under AI styles, stylized, the scale model, cartoon, voxel, and pencil sketch.
Now that we're done with explaining the workflow, we're going to give tips, tricks, and common issues encountered when using
specific
DeFi
tip
Render are the use of keyboard shortcuts, which is flashed on the screen. Knowing this would ultimately help you in using DeFi Render and make it more efficient for you. Next are the hidden features as mentioned under widgets. Make sure to efficiently use this tool as it will help you. Next are the free asset libraries which you can find in DeFi Library, Polyhaven, and SketchUp Warehouse. Next are the plugins. Make sure to install LiveSync for D5 so you can use it in SketchUp or Rhino, Revit, or also the other apps. Lastly is the community. It's highly encouraged to engage in the D5 forum. Watch tutorials in YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook. You can also join Facebook groups for tips and inspirations. Lastly, we have here the common problems and solutions. You can pause the video to read them. So this is how groups render works. And that concludes our video. We hope that you learned a lot from this tutorial. Thank you and good luck with your D5 journey.